Welcome to the Pattern People, where we decode the subconscious programs behind everyday events so that you can transform your life from the inside out. I'm Irania Susan. My key interests are around body decoding, past lives, and relationship dynamics, and all the associated subconscious programs that are involved with them. I've been helping people to find out what's been going on behind their lives for over 40 years.
Greetings, I'm Yasamika, often known as the Pattern Man. I find the dots and join them up. And that gives me the bigger picture. So when I'm decoding subconscious patterns, I look for subconscious triggers. And once I find a trigger, I'm able to join that up to another trigger. And from that, I get a picture. And that tells me what the subconscious mind program is. So with these letters, they're great because they're telling me the dots and the triggers that are happening. And because I'm a pattern man, which also means I'm a decoder, I'm able to decode what's going on there and work out what the subconscious mind is up to underneath the conscious mind, because it's a different world.
Well, there you go. We've heard from Megan in Oklahoma, USA, and she's got a really interesting message that she sent in. We've gone in and taken the key points out of this, and we're going to decode what Megan's got going on in her life. This is a situation that I've heard many people talk about, especially women. I'm not sure if it's a male thing, but you'll be able to fill us in on that once you've heard what Megan has got to say. I have quite a lively, outgoing personality, but I get so tired of people saying that I am too much, too loud, too flashy, too big, too noisy, and that I take up too much space. I have tried to tone myself down, but it just does not work. How do I deal with being too much? Well, here you go, Megan. Let's find out about that concept of too much. But first of all, I'm going to pop over to Yasa and say, is this a guy thing or is it just a girl thing?
No, it's a guy thing.
It is a guy thing?
Yeah. That males probably get squashed more and quicker when they're too much, too happy and too excited, because it's not an acceptable part of the masculine reality to be excitable or too happy or too out there and too expressive.
Perhaps that's too emotional. What about a guy who is forthright or strong leadership? When we're looking more towards the blue mind side of things, are they criticized for that? Because I know that many women are. If you're a strong leader, sometimes people say that you're too pushy or you're too whatever, or you're not feminine enough because you're operating too much in a masculine world. Is it that guys are criticized more for being too emotional, but it's acceptable for them to be more mental focused?
Yeah, well,
physical focused?
We'll get into Yelena.
Good question. Really good point to bring up, Megan. I know that it definitely is. Women are identified as too much on all kinds of levels, but interesting to see what this plays out as for the guys as well.
Now, third-dimensional overcoat onto this ghost. Underneath the ghost or the etheric mind, we have an emotional mind. This is feminine, and this one lives in our torso or in our belly. The blue mind is the mental mind, and this is the thinker, and this one lives up here. This one is masculine. It makes no difference if the person is a male or a female. Both can be masculine. So when a female is throwing a masculine, which is a blue mindset, they will be perceived as serious. They like to do one thing at a time, and they like to finish it. They do not like to repeat. They'll often say, well, if this is a one-off, let's go with it. This mind here is the quieter mind. This mind here will quite often isolate itself, insulate itself so it can do its work. It can often be perceived as too serious, too grumpy, too edgy. These ones here are the ones that finish. These ones here are the ones that start. So what happens, and the red one is the emotional expressive one, and this is the feminine mind. So, and this is the one that's in the belly. So, you know, these are the ones that have the gut laugh, who can express themselves from their belly. And it's usually expressive and emotional. These ones here, this one here lives in the head. There's no emotions in the head. It's thought. Let's think. Let's do this. Let's think that. Work this out. It's intellectual. You know, how many intellectual people do you know who have trouble with showing their emotions? Because this is the masculine mind.
Yeah.
With that dear lady down there,
Megan. Yeah.
Yep. She's forced to be in here because if she goes in here, she's too expressive.
She said she had a lively, outgoing personality. So I think she's mostly operating in the red. Okay. I can see it working both ways, though.
So if she's in here, being a female and in the red, so that multiplies it.
Yeah.
If you have a male here throwing a masculine, it makes the masculine stronger because it's in a male overcoat. But if you have a female throwing a feminine, then that will accelerate the emotional body more because it's a feminine mind in a female body.
You know, I think one of the things that we often find is that people get so confused between the concepts of feminine and masculine and female and male. Female and male are our biological makeup. This depends on which body parts we were born with, whether we are a female or a male. And that only exists in the third dimensional level. It's a physical expression. Feminine and masculine exists in this fourth dimensional. This is our spiritual level of being. And men, physical men, have a feminine aspect and a masculine aspect. Physical women, biological physical women, have a feminine aspect and a masculine aspect. We have both. Now, as Yasa was just explaining, if you are a guy and you're putting forward masculine, not male, but masculine,
which that means that will be closer to the surface.
Yeah.
And this one will be
so
further away.
This is the predominant. Whoops, thanks for that. And just keeping in mind that these are actually the same size. They only look different because they have the stack inside the stacking dolls. But the red mind and the blue mind are generally of equal importance. But a male who is expressing a masculine side socially in our Western world, this is what the expectation is. And this is because people have got it so confused. Masculine is just the mental, productive, focused, down-to-earth part of us.
Functional.
And that differentiation between biological or physical male and female and feminine and masculine has become intertwined. The feminine, if you are a biological female, this is where people expect you to be. So you could be, if you are...
So we'll put that back here.
If you are expressing masculine aspects and you are a physical female, you could be criticized for that. Or if you are a guy and you're expressing your emotional self, you may have copped flack from people for not being masculine enough or male enough. So there's that kind of confusion that goes on. And sometimes people, when they are considered too much, it comes down to social expectation. And this is a cultural thing. It's a Western world thing. It's a social construct. But the key thing here is that males have both the feminine and the masculine, and females have both the feminine and the masculine. We all have it. So we all have that focused mind, and we all have the emotional mind. But where you're coming unstuck, Megan, is if you're expressing yourself predominantly out of this emotional mind, there must be someone in your life who has a very masculine, female or male,
or both,
or whatever, physical. You could have a group of people, and they all think that you're expressing too much out of here because it's not something they relate to. They expect you to be more quiet, more serious, more focused, more diligent, more productive, less, I think you said, lively, outgoing personality. Now that speaks to me of very social. That comes out of here. Loud, flashy. This is all of what's coming potentially out of you expressing your authenticity out of your emotional body.
Some cultures prefer this.
Yep. And some people.
This is often known as the stiff upper lip.
Yep. Yep.
Right? Downplay.
Yep.
Put a lid on it.
Never let your emotions come to the surface.
Yep.
Boys should never cry.
This is this one.
Mm.
And I'm a European, and this one here is more socially accepted to this one.
Yep.
This is
in a man.
This is the flashy one. This is the one that's spontaneous, impromptu, often loud, expression, and they'll project their identity. These ones here, and the blue people actually dislike the red ones because the blue people live up in the head, which is intellectual, and often say, shut your emotions down, calm down, you're getting too out of hand. So there's definitely a barrier here, and the red ones dislike the blue ones because it's like, oh, too serious, too straight. And these ones are always busting. These ones like freedom. Definitely freedom of expression.
Yeah.
And these ones here like to keep the expression down.
And contained.
So depending on what subconscious mindset you're in, I was born predominantly this one. And I know what she's talking about because quite often, even now, because I'm getting freer with my emotions, I'll get males. I actually had one the other day say, oh, you're going to have to calm down a bit.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't come here to calm down.
Yeah.
I come here to let go and express myself. And he was a blue male. I knew where he was coming from.
Yeah.
It never offended me. But I know he's a blue male. And the last thing he would do is do what I do. And, I was playing table tennis and I said, wow, that's great. And he was going, yeah.
Calm down.
So there's certainly a division here.
Yeah.
We are meant to have both. We're meant to be, the white one is meant to be in the middle.
Yeah. Integrating the two sides so that we can be balanced.
Yeah.
But I think for Megan, I think she's predominantly here.
Yep.
And she has encountered a whole stack of people like this who are telling her, tone yourself down. Now she's tried to get into here, but it's not working. Well, did you want to say something more on this? Because there's another angle I'd like to come from.
Go for it.
Okay. So if we can just keep these guys, but thanks very much to the rest of the crew there.
Okay.
And I'd like the blocks because I think we really need to look at what we call the pendulum. Right, so the ideal place for our subconscious is to be in the middle, but it hates being in the middle. It prefers to be on one side or another. And one of those sides is the red side, and one of those sides is the blue side. Now, can we have a Megan, please? Thank you. So Megan really enjoys being social and lively and emotionally based. If she's sitting here with one red, she's pretty cruisy. She's happy. She's enjoying herself. Things are good. Things are positive. Now, if she's over here in two reds, she's having a really good time. She is fun, laughing, dancing, joyful, expressive, however that works. And it's still a positive reality. Now, as soon as she crosses from 2 over the line and becomes 3, the realities change and they become destructive. So you've got a great story about kids playing and enjoying themselves. I know I've heard you talk about it many times.
So if you've had kids, you'll know the difference between a happy child and a child that's out of hand, too excited. And what happens is that a happy child is in here, within the transgressional line, naturally being happy, excited. And if their subconscious mind goes, if that's good, go another notch up. And what happens is that they come out here. That's when you'll hear their mother or their guardian and their father say, settle down, you're either going to hurt yourself, hurt someone else, knock something over. And this line over here is destructive. This is still creative, but once we cross the line and the child gets overexcited, usually it's called overexcited, they hurt themselves, or this is when their reality starts imploding on themselves. What they've created here, if you go over here, at any age, in any situation, you're going to start destroying and being destructive to what you've just created.
Now, this could be where you've had maybe an extra glass of wine or something, and instead of just being chirpy, whoops, you're now feeling pretty sick, or you're stumbling, or you're not fit to drive your car, whatever it is.
Well, something comes out of your mouth that's
destructive. You say something. Yes, sometimes people get pretty
loose lips.
Yep, they say or do things that they regret later. And sometimes with, say, drink, some people will get a bit too violent or a bit too aggressive, but whatever. That's what we mean by destructive. Instead of it just being the fun time that it was when it was on the double, when it crosses that line over into the treble, that's where things start to fall apart. Now, the reason I'm looking at this is something for you to think about. If you are having this too much issue, something to measure for yourself. Are you going to the point of having a really great time, or are you pushing it a little bit further than really works and it starts to be destructive? So if you, or if Megan or anyone else is having trouble with this too much concept, are you going too red? Or if you're doing it the blue way, up to the double, you're focused, you're intentional, you're doing a great job. Soon as you cross over that line, you've pushed it too hard, you're working too long, you're spending too much time on it, you're too stressed, you're getting burnt out. Soon as you cross that line, you know that you've gone too far. So if you do have too much programming going on in your life, just consider, am I taking things over the line, either in a blue mental way or in a red mental way? Anything else to add?
If you have incarnated into a blue family, blue parents, let's say, and you have a blue, let's say here's a male, and you are, as a child and as an adult, you're doing a double red, which is chirpy, happy, excited, without being destructive. And you get a double blue male who's over here, who's busy being serious.
Or laying down the law even.
Yep.
Telling you what
Very
to
good
do.
at structure. If you are crossing the line, you will know, because you will be hurting other people. You will be hurting yourself. You'll be just destroying your reality. Or are you getting to a double, and this person here is starting to get upset because according to his, or it could be a female's perception, culturally or societally, you are getting too much.
Going too far.
Check that one out. And another beastie thing with the subconscious mind is that it's always balancing our reality. So if you have incarnated into a strong blue reality, the subconscious mind will go, that reality needs some red. When you incarnate in, you're going to be the red one, because you need to balance up all that serious structural blue stuff over there. And you're going to incarnate in a red. And that can be a bit of a cow.
Yeah, that's pretty challenging.
But that's how it works, because as soon as someone, say you go out for drinks, as soon as someone starts getting too red, let's say they jump over the line and they come over here as an adult, someone in there is going to have to go, I'm going to have to go
balance you out.
Dribble blue to balance you out. I'll stop drinking, because someone's got to drive home. Driving is a blue reality, traffic lights, all that kind of stuff. So this one here is going to go, righto, you're getting too drunk. I better come over here to balance you out. And this one's over here is going, lost all structure.
Yeah.
Because the redder we get, the less structure we have in our reality. And the bluer we get, the more structure. Here we have guidelines. Over here we have girders. So that's happening in there all the time. Yeah.
That gives us a really good overview of being too much. And it definitely comes down to the red and the blue mindsets.
Yeah.
Megan, it very much looks like you are a red mindset predominantly. You will have blue in there, but the red is the stronger one, especially when you're playing out the too much pattern. Some others of you may resonate with that, or you may resonate with being too blue and you want more balance in your life. If that is you, then I suggest you pop along and check out our too much video in the clearing library.
I'll tell you something that's interesting. If this dear woman here is incarnated into a blue reality as a red to lighten it up, she's programmed to manifest serious realities, so she goes into them to try and lighten them up. So that means she's going to manifest a blue reality, which is trying to suppress her. And she's trying to push this red stuff. There's a battle going on. That is not a good mind program.
It's not helpful
because
at all.
Quite often a red person would like to share a reality with other red people to be more expressive. But I think she's programmed to manifest a very suppressive blue reality, so she can come in and shine a bit of laughter and joy and light on that serious stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. She's been told to tone down, so I would say that's what's going on.
I'd clear that.
Now, if you've got one of these kinds of things going on in your life and you would like us to help you out one-to-one, then pop along and book yourself a clearing session with us, and we'll be able to go right into the detail of what's happening in your life, and clear that whole pattern out specifically aimed at your situation. So that's a one-to-one clearing. If you know anyone else who has got this kind of programming, then please share this video with them so that they can get a little bit of clarity around what may be going on in their lives as well. If you want to know more about your mind layers and your subconscious programs, we have a series in the Learning Library called Welcome to Yourself. It's the perfect introduction to the kind of work we do, and it sets the scenes for everything that we talk about. So we really appreciate your likes and your subscribes and the comments that you send to us. If there's something going on in your life that you would be interested in us looking at on the Pattern People, then please pop along to the Pattern People page on our website and send us a contact form with your message, and we'll see what we can do. Well, that's about it from us this week, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Cheers.